Well, what is up? Welcome back. Now my camera's messed up.
Maybe.
My camera's now desynced. Dude, for whatever reason, my Stream Deck...
Also, it's like super tiny on this, but I don't...
All right. Are we good?
I don't...
Chat? Hello? Can you see us? All right. I don't know what happens, but for whatever reason, when I try to use my Stream Deck, it dies. Like the stream, it kills the stream. So...
Dude, but streaming's perfect and it's always perfect. It's never not perfect, right?
I don't know what's going on with my Stream Deck. Because that's what's happened the last couple times. I'll try to use my Stream Deck, and then it'll go to a... it'll just like make it to where the stream is still going, but I won't be sending anything. You think the Stream Deck up? Yeah.
Well, there it is. All right, guys, here we go. We're gonna give you a quick behind the scenes look of what happens right before we go live. So let's bring it back real quick. All right. Count us off.
All right, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Mechs on Deck.
We out here, boys.
Get the full like YouTuber like, what's up?
What's up? Just throw stuff.
But no.
Oh man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Niv 180. I'm good. I just got word that the last invoice has been paid on the Squid 60. So
What's up,
I am
boys?
fucking stoked. I don't look as stoked because it's been a long day.
A little bit stressful for you, huh?
It's been a long day. It's a little bit stressful, you know, but we got there. That's all that matters, right? It's like when you're waiting for a group buy to finally get there and it gets delayed like 8 months. And then when it finally shows up, nothing matters anymore, right? You're like, whatever, I got my board now. I'm happy. So it's happened. It was never not happening, but now it's fully to the fullest extent happening. I am happy to announce. So that is it on my end with the announcements of the Squid thing. I will probably not say anything for another like 5 months, but you're feel free to PM me and I will give you all the information that I can.
Yeah. I mean, we've got the Squid channel in the Discord that'll be updated as things happen. But yeah. Stash, thank you for the 10 months. Appreciate it. How are you doing? Did everyone have a good weekend? It's been, I know for Chewy and myself, it's been stressful for different reasons, but it's getting better, you know? It's getting better.
It's getting better. I'm okay with that. It's going to be a good week. We have a fun stream today. And we've got a fun week of streams, or this next 3 days are going to be some fun Mechs on Deck streams. So excited about that as well. So it's going to be a good week. Let's have ourselves a good week.
Absolutely. Started working on your first board group by Niv? Oh, wow. That's awesome, man. Congrats.
Yeah,
good luck. But today we've got quite a few topics to talk about. I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but we've got them in here. Chewy's got them in the brain piece, the dome, as some would call it. But first, what's on your desk, Chewy? What is on? I'm not going to use my Stream Deck. I looked over and I was like, I have Dave Mail right there, and I could press that and the stream would die.
Turn the entire stream off.
All right.
So look at this. Well, first off, we'll get to that. Got my Singa. I switched out the caps for some bears. This is the Ursa bear, the allegedly bear. This is the 420 bear from this year, and the Mechs on Deck bear. Holy Pandas, Singa, V1. I love it. This is ever since I got rid of the Austin, this has been my get shit done board. So, and today had to get some shit done.
It's nice. Also, Exo Squid, congratulations, my dude, on not only getting a Squid 60, but closing on your house. That is big news. Big news, my dude.
Big news. So, and then I kind of have a mail day, although I can't show it off. It'd be very difficult to show
We'll
off.
make you big again so they can
All
see
right.
the gloriousness.
So, long story short, I upgraded a lens, and while it was an upgrade, it had autofocus issues where it would cause it to just vibrate. So at standard manual focus, it looked fine, but if I kind of moved back and all that shit, it would like put me out of focus. So I upgraded my lens. I took the advice of Mr. Osiris and got the one that he uses. For those curious, it is a Sigma 16 millimeter lens. I have my autofocus back, so I can do this now in the stream, which is very nice and convenient because I feel like I've just been bouncing back and forth between autofocus our entire stream career, just with a different lens and different cameras and all that. So it's been a very nice little upgrade that I got to play with a bunch, but I can't really show it off because
Yeah, well, it looks good, and I'm excited for it because I know you have been wanting autofocus, but you didn't really have it for a while. Well, you had it. It was just like it's flickery.
I had it. Yeah, it was one of those things that I could have probably gotten away with it, but it would have driven me insane looking at it. So,
absolutely. Well, for me, I don't have any mail today, but as far as what is on my desk, actually, did I get any mail? No, I didn't. I did order some stuff that should be here soon, so I'll have mail next week, hopefully.
You got that stand?
What stand?
The desolder gun stand.
Oh yeah, I did, but it's over there.
Technically, it's over there. We got it. So we got a desolder gun that we showed off, but which apparently some people thought that I was like pulling out like an actual weapon. When I had the case, they were like, "Oh shit!" It's a desolder gun.
Yeah, desolder gun.
And then we also got a stand with it that I used to the fullest extent recently, and it works great. We need to update our like gear list of what we use because Osiris and I, for the most part, outside of screwdriver set, I think use the exact same stuff. So we'll get an updated list here soon of all of our gear. So if you are curious to know, what stuff that we use and what we would recommend, we will put that list together as well.
Absolutely. As far as what is on my desk today, this was my work board before the COVIDs happened, before the pandemic. That's my OSA with waves on it. A nice little some Keyforge artisans on there. But yeah, OSA number 9, which is my lucky number, my favorite number. But I actually just switched to this before stream. It's the Alice style boards are just so awesome for typing. Like,
so much fun,
man.
I just decapped mine the other day because I am impatiently awaiting Infinikey grain to go on it. So it's definitely one of those boards that I'm like, it's the only board that breaks my rule of a board that should be able to do everything. It's a bit tough on game.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a little tough. It is a little bit weird. I might have to retry it. I haven't tried the gaming on my OSA in a long time. I tried it when I first built it, but yeah, I've got Zelio V2s in there, 78 gram Zelio V2s, which are nice.
And your sound really good too.
Yeah, they sound pretty good. I can't remember what lube. I think it's 3203. Or no, I did like
you did a mix plus like super lube, right?
No, it wasn't.
Or no, you did PTFE powder.
Yeah, PTFP powder on the stems, and then the base is 3203. That's right. I tried something different. I always try to mix it up because we're going to talk about lube here in a second because there's been some big updates with that. But I always try. I'm big on the PTFE powder because it's so cheap. The bike chain lube, as it's called, because you can get it for so cheap and you get so much.
Yeah.
So it's like if you could use that and replace, some different, maybe if you like oils or stuff, use it for spring lube. It just saves you a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but I need to. But I've been building. I recently lubed some blueberries, but I did 3204 for that. That's kind of my tried and true for tactiles. But I haven't done I feel like that'd be really good for a lighter tactile switch. Not that Zelio V2s are a lighter tactile switch by any means, but I feel like I still have some leftover lilacs. I feel like I might want to try that with some lilacs because I feel like that might complement that switch really well.
Yeah, and I think people really like it for creams as well.
Mm-hmm. I remember Man of Interest, I think, was one of the first people to try PTFE powder on creams like a long time ago, like well over a year ago. And he really enjoyed it. And he does. I trust pretty much everything he would say about lubing and switches. He's been doing it for fucking ever now. So
Yeah, and I did. I actually will probably be rebuilding this OSA pretty soon. Not rebuilding. I have a second plate, and I'm going to build it up with some of the new silk switches from Novel Keys that I got in on some of the black silk switches last week. So I'm just waiting for those to get in, as well as some springs. I think I'm going to rebuild my Bauer with slightly heavier springs.
hell yeah, dude.
So should be.
We're getting there. We're getting there. 74 grams. We'll build you all the way up to 98 grams.
98 might be a bit much because I really enjoy playing video games with my Bauer, and so
I think 74 will be like perfect because I do 74 gram springs on my Holy Pandas, and I think that's the Singa and the Baka are the two that I use the most for gaming. If I want to, I know I'm going to be gaming a shit ton, I use those two because that spring weight for me personally on a tactile 74 to 78. So on a linear, that'll be a little bit lighter, which is going to be perfect for smooth bumps or smooth actuations.
Yeah,
not bumps. No bumps.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into it. What do you want to talk about first?
First, let's give an applause. Good job, GMK. You went a full week without me having to hear about how some GMK cap got fucked up.
Very true. Very true. And I think I've seen a little bit, but it's more of the same. People talking about space bars being warped, which is okay, we know now. Not that it's acceptable, but it's one of those things. It's not a new problem, but
yeah,
it has been a week since we've had a significantly new issue from GMK, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, and like we've said, there are lots of sets that go out without issues. There are lots of sets that have issues, but only some of them have. But you're never going to complain about something that's perfect. You're not, when you expect perfection and it's perfect, you don't go around saying, guys, I received GMK 9009 and it's perfect. And so it's just kind of one of those things that you're only ever going to hear about the bad. You're not going to hear about the good. And so it's just kind of one of those one of these days we'll get around to having everything be perfect and perfectly acceptable, and they're fixing their stuff. But you can't always look at the negatives without looking at how many positives there are in this community and this hobby.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's one of those things, the hobby's never been it's never been perfect. We've always had some sort of issues with different things, whether it was with group buys, whether it was with keycaps, whether it was with interest checks. I mean, there's always it's a very niche, very custom thing, so it's always going to be there's going to be little nuances. I don't think it's necessarily issues is the right word, but like little nuanced things that happen, just like anything. Like, you buy a fancy, expensive, handmade car, some of the panels might not sit 100% even. There may be some weird things happening.
But in regards to Lube, I have some interesting news. I'm going to be trying 205 grade 0, or sorry, not grade 0. I've already tried 205 grade 0. 205 grade 2.
Really?
Yeah. So, and we brought up the PTFE powder. I do feel like this hobby right now is in a rut when it comes to lube. Yes, it works, right? 3203, Tribiosis 3203, Tribiosis 3204, and Krytox GPL 205 grade 0, right? Those are the three that have always been kind of tried and true. And actually, yes, Cult TV is the one that kind of talked to me about it, and I was questioning him about it. And I do believe that we're kind of in this spot where it's, and I feel like I'm at fault. I feel like we're kind of both at fault, where it's like, well, what do you say to tell people? You tell people these three, right? Everybody kind of does that. And what I think that's doing is actually kind of limiting what the hobby can do, right? The whole point of the hobby is to explore new things and try new things. And we wouldn't have Holy Pandas. We wouldn't have Palm keyboards. We wouldn't have gaskets if it wasn't for trying things. So as of now, I'm going to start trying different things.
which is cool, because I think there's some other things. Is grade 2 the one? I know you can actually get some of the
grade 2 you can just
205
buy
from Amazon.
Yeah, grade 2 you can just straight up buy from Amazon.
Yeah.
So it is my understanding that grade 0 is specifically made for like the keyboard community.
Yeah, I think, well, because it's all like the 205, like the grading is basically, it's all the same lube, and then they thin it out based off, like it's a base, and then they thin it out to make the different grades.
Yeah, God, I want some of that base stuff. I want 205 grade base.
Well, I can't remember which one it starts out as. It might be that it starts out at 2, or it starts out, I don't remember. I don't know. I just know that that's how it works. They do that, and then they thin it out, and it changes it through for the different grades. But yeah, it is interesting, because we've seen other companies other than Krytox be prevalent in lubes, like what was the other one? What was that company that Novelty sold a bunch of their stuff for a while?
Start with an M.
Yeah, it was like MCG or something like that. 129, 127, and
because I tried some, and honestly, Cristo. Yes, Cristo. Why? I don't know why. Maybe I was thinking Monte Cristo. Whatever. But so Cristo, I actually did try Cristo. 129. No, it wasn't that thick. I don't remember which one. I've got the tube of it over there, but I remember trying it and was not a huge fan. I remember after, I felt like it wore itself out in like a month. Like, with some lube. So, and I'm someone who likes to over lube a little bit. I like to start off a little bit heavier, knowing that it's going to break in some. And so MCG, that's where I got the M from. MCG Cristo. And so, but I felt like it kind of thinned itself out too much. And while also I was kind of in the process of discovering that I really don't like 3203 for tactiles as a personal preference, it was one of those things that I didn't want to, it just wasn't for me. And so that was kind of my only real like test at it. I know 129 people you will use for stabs often. So
yeah, which is interesting, because like even you go and look at like Novel Keys, they had a whole array of the Crystal Lube offerings, and now they don't. They just have 204 grade 00, 204 205 grade 00, 205 grade 0, and GPL 105. So it's interesting because I wonder now with the way things are, obviously Krelbit over at Switch Mod, with him announcing that he was stopping the lube sales, and that opens up a bunch of space in the lube market. I wonder if we'll start to see maybe a resurgence of the Crystal Lube, or if there will be more offerings maybe that people find. Maybe people find some other options that will work well, because I think there's probably a lot out there that people maybe haven't tried or just hasn't had its fair shot. Or maybe there's some sort of like mixes that you could do. But yeah, I would agree with what DD Decline just said, is people are kind of scared to branch out on lube. They know it works. They don't want to try new things. But
and I mean, rightfully so, because like, if I try something and I screw up, I'm fortunate enough that I can go to Osiris and bring him some food and say, here's some food, please clean all my switches with your ultrasonic cleaner. but not everybody has that, and it can be very difficult to clean, right? Especially if it's a thinner. I feel like thinner lubes have been, at least in my experience, harder to clean off 100%. And if they've been used for a while, and obviously you're not going to get the full feeling of lube without really giving it the kind of month-long task, right? There's a reason that like 205 grade 0 is great, and I've tried it. I've used it for a long time on multiple different switches. I really enjoy it. So I know I'm going to overlube, and I know a little bit on my creams that I have for a build tomorrow. I overlube them a little bit because I know I'm going to wind up using them for a very long time. This board's not going anywhere. Also, I took another page out of Colt's book and just lube the absolute shit out of my stab switches. Like, set those aside because it's 98 gram spring. So I'm like, this fucking thing is going to be butter. This is going to be putting my finger in a stick of like softened butter.
And there's a lot more play too when you're using springs that heavy, because you can use a lot more, because there's obviously a lot more force. But if you're doing something like the 55 gram red inks, that you lubed, where there were like, you lubed the first couple and you're like, oh, I can't lube these the same way.
I literally can't lube them the same. I learned that very quickly. I was like, oh, okay, got it. Like, to change it up just a little bit.
But yeah, no, I'm interested to see that what will happen with such a large player in the market of lube. What will happen after? Because I know there's been lots of people getting into it. And doing like small group buy runs of it on like the mech market and stuff. But I'm interested to see what will happen moving forward with Switch Mod kind of leaving that market.
Yeah. And so one thing, that this is a hobby that's based on people being going out and doing something, right? And the way we're growing is that people are taking risks. People are going. Switch Mod started as a guy selling lube out of his dorm room, and then it kind of grew from there. Dixie Mech, a guy who ordered 200 to 400 keycap sets out of his house, and then just kind of did that as a side business. And a lot of the UPass is still doing cannon keys as a side business, which, like, dude, fucking props. And Zap Cables literally started in his garage. So all these places are kind of starting small, right? They're starting on Mech Market. But what we're seeing now is, in my opinion, it's oversaturating, right? Now we have like 14 different people selling lube. And so what kind of happened with the Switch Mod thing is that's too many people. And if you get it for a slightly lower than you're able to undercut, then no one's going to buy your product. That's just capitalism, right? And I would venture to say this is, and I don't want this to sound like I am trying to go, hey, Switch Mod is our sponsor and I'm trying to mark this down. I genuinely think we're at that point in the hobby where it's starting to not be as productive having multiple people selling through Mech Market when you're trying to get more people to join the hobby.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it's just like everyone's trying to make a little bit, and then you have the price cutting where it's like it gets to a point where it's really hard for a vendor who's trying to make it their livelihood to sell at as low of margins as what people are able to offer on Mech Market. Um, Lord of the Vent Harvest, I think obviously Nathan, anything that he does on stream, like he consistently does, will have a ripple effect in the community. But I think 205, even before he started using it, was pretty known as like the go-to for linears and stabs, because I think there was a big shift where everyone went from like dielectric grease to 205, and some people still do dielectric grease for stabs because it's so much cheaper.
It's thick
And it's thick,
easy to get. Yeah, I feel like dielectric grease. This is a personal opinion. If you want to use dielectric grease, go for it. But I feel like dielectric grease's reign on the stab community ended right around the time people started realizing 7 to 8 months after using dielectric grease on their stabs, they're like, why is there so much fucking dust on my stabs?
Yeah, that's the thing, is dielectric grease, because the way that it is, it just kind of like, it gets crap in it. And obviously if your keyboard's at your desk, you're eating probably at your desk at some point. Like, let's all be real. No one like doesn't eat at their desk at least once every month,
Yeah. Coffee. Here's
beard hair.
The one thing that I always find, it's hair, but dandruff too. Like,
yeah,
most people are not. You're probably doing okay on the not having that much hair in your keyboards right now, but like beard hair, like dandruff, dust, just lint, all that crap is just going to naturally fall. Dust is in the air. It's almost impossible to just, unless you have like a gigantic vent above you that's just pulling all the air out of the room, you're gonna have dust, and shit's just gonna get in there and start getting jacked up.
Yeah, and Noe, I think it's one of those things too. It's not about necessarily about saving money. Sometimes it's about availability, right? Like, you got this board that you want to build, you want to use it, and maybe you can't get 205. Like, maybe it's just not available. You don't have any. But I mean, I get what you're saying. As I had an interesting conversation with Quakeums from Top Clack the other night, where we were talking about linear switches, and we were talking about how, obviously the JWK switches are really good, and how not everyone, but a lot of people were saying, oh, well, these switches are, maybe more worth it because of their value than something like Creams or even Telios, when yes, they're good, but it's like, why is price an argument for the switches that go in your like $700 keyboard? Like, why are you worried about price? Like, it's just such a funny concept.
I can see the tofu analogy, right? When you're like, oh, I'm buying a tofu, what's a good tactile switch? It can be difficult to be like, well, there's Zelios and you can get them for, $1 a switch. And so you're going to be spending almost the price of the case just on switches. You can go big brain move and get some Zycos and, pay for like 2.5 tofus. But it can be difficult. Honestly, I've been telling people more and more. I'm like, if you want a good budget tactile, lilacs, if you can find them, are the way to go. Because outside of blueberries, I would say I'd probably say blueberries now that I've been using some for a little bit, but that's also like mega tactile. And if you're trying to go someone from browns to something else, I think lilacs is like the perfect in between switch of like, I want something a little bit more tactile, but I also don't want my fingers to hurt when I go to sleep.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like, you're the switch, like whether or not you get it, if it's price and you're buying like an expensive board, like maybe just save up for a couple more weeks. Lilacs are the same as T1s, just really a different opaque housing, different color.
Yeah, I'd say honestly, based on my experience, I'd say the T1s, I don't know if it's just a mental thing. I felt like the T1s had a slightly bigger bump, but like just noticeable. But I still, it's one of those, it's kind of negligible at that point.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, the big difference between a lot of those JWK switches is the spring that's in them, right?
Yeah,
They'll change the
exactly.
spring weighting, so it'll be a little bit, heavy or lighter. But
Mhm.
yeah, the T1s, like that whole like line of switches is a great like lesser tactility than like a V2 or a Holy Panda or a Blueberry. Like it fills a little bit of the void where the Zeal V1s left, because a lot of
Yeah,
people I know are still um, champions for the the Zeal V1 feel, that lighter tactility that's not quite as light as something like a Brown, but is still not quite as heavy as like a Holy Panda. Which is funny because the community for the past like year has been, or almost 2 years now, has been all like, give me Holy Panda.
give
Everything
me as
needs to be
much
Holy
tactility
Panda.
as possible. And that's why there is something very satisfying. And also, if you want the most tactile switch, go get a freaking box navy. That's like the most tactile switch I can think of, or a box jade, because you want tactility. You have to fight against a freaking bar that's pushing against your fingers.
And if you want
But
even more, be like Mentorly and put an even heavier click bar in there.
heavier click bar, yeah. So if you want actual tactility, go clicky. But I mean, and myself included, obviously, Zycos were something that I was going after the biggest and brightest bump possible. And what's funny is now I've kind of felt myself. I love Zycos. I'm putting them in a future build here in the next couple weeks, but I've actually found myself like backing off from that. Like I've been really enjoying the blueberries with 89-gram springs because it rounded off, and I was like, I kind of like this. It's like the heavy spring with the lighter bump. I'm enjoying a lot more than just like all not more, but I'm just enjoying it a bunch right now because Zycos are extremely polarizing. So
All roads lead back to Zelios, maybe. I mean, Zelios, my thing about them, if they sounded better, I think that they would be much, much more popular. Because I think most people will say, well, not most people, but I know a lot of people will say that they prefer the feel of a Zelio V2 over even like a Holy Panda. Yeah, because I know, like, you talk to the creator of the Holy Panda, Mr. Quakums, and he's like, just buy Zelio V2s. They're cheaper. They just don't sound as good. It's like, yeah, it's true. It's
if you're
true.
all about feel, Zelio V2s all the way.
Yeah, they're so smooth, especially stock. Like, they feel
Yeah,
great stock.
they are. I will still say, out of the box, they are the best Switch. If you were buying a Switch, the only ones I could say, now this is for me personally, I would throw JWK linears in there because honestly, those are pretty solid out of the box too. But I think for tactile switches out of the box, Zelio V2s are the best tactile switch that you don't have to do anything to. You can pull them out of the box, throw them in a board, and you're going to love it. And I tell people this, I'm like, if you want a big bump and you're brand new, but you've got some money and you don't mind dropping 70, 80 bucks on switches for your tofu or your KBD8X or whatever, just get them in, throw them in there. You're going to fucking love it regardless. And it's going to still, I mean, even then, it's still going to sound better than whatever keyboard you were typing on beforehand.
Yeah, it's funny because chat's like talking about how we were just talking about cheaper, and I just use that as a plus for the Zelios. But I think it's one of those things. It's like that is a in that situation. It's with what I was talking about saying saving money on switches. That shouldn't be the goal in buying a lesser switch in order to save money, right?
Mhm.
Like don't save money to buy Zelios
There's
if
really
that's your
not
only
much.
goal. If that's what
Yeah,
I
there's
mean.
not. The only thing I could see saving money on is like a PCB,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the only one where it's like, okay, well, I can save 20 bucks and get no RGB and I don't get access to VIA and I just have to put in a little bit more work on my end to save 20 bucks on a PCB that's probably going to work as long as you don't plan on desoldering it. And then maybe if you're not wanting brass and you're okay with the aluminum or the polycarbonate plates are still very popular. Um, So like I feel like plate PCB is where you want to start making your cuts or caps. If you're wanting to go get these novelties PBT caps, that's a good place to kind of start cutting costs. Switches, I think, is the last thing. I think that's the thing that you should kind of go balls out on.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things you can cut. Like if you're looking at two different priced boards or like two different priced switches, and like you cutting from a GMK set to like a Infinikey set or like one of these PBT sets from Novel Keys will get you into a higher quality board or higher quality switches. I would say do it. I look back and I always talk about how my computer, and I know Chewy, you feel the same way. When I built my computer, I spent like $300 on things that were like purely aesthetic, like custom cables for my PSU and the like the Hue Plus to have LED lights. And I'm like, why did I not just spend that money on getting like a 980 Ti instead of a 970? like what's...
My computer sits under my desk and all the lights are turned off. Like it's like I like the case is great. I'm never gonna get rid of the case, especially since you got me that nicer front. But yeah, I'm like after upgrading my computer, I'm like I get it, right? If you want that aesthetic, that's right. That's why that stuff exists. But there are definitely cuts you have to make in when you have a set amount. If someone's like, here's 20 grand, build a whatever dream computer, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna have the entire wall RGB and it's gonna have custom water cooling and all that shit. But whenever you're on a budget, I'm like, and that's kind of how it is with keyboards, right? You're like, you have to make cuts somewhere, or you have to make the realization that I want this board to be the best that it can be, so I understand that I have to make a little bit more of an investment.
Yep. Also, shout outs to Clavier for the tier 1 for 8 months. Appreciate that, my dude. Evil Deeds for the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you. And J Chef for 9 months. Thank y'all. IA Bosi, I think is how you would say that. It's talking about the Drop Holy Pandas and how people are saying that Drop was misleading folks about the new Holy Pandas. You would like our take on that? I'm assuming it's about the
palm housing. It's kind of one of those, they weren't explicitly open about it, but they weren't, I don't know if they were exactly secretive about it. It's kind of one of those fine print things. I'm going to read through the website real quick to see. Yeah, so it's in there. It's in the specs, as in, yes, it's palm. But I don't know if you want to pull, I don't know if you have the ability to pull up the website, because it's under specs where it says palm. So they're not misleading. They were just not open about the fact that they changed it. So, this is to be expected by stuff like Drop, right? Drop doesn't, they're not like, as in, Drop doesn't just sell keyboard stuff, right? They sell audio stuff. They sell other everyday carry items and all that stuff. So you don't have to, Drop is not, they don't care, right? They're just like, hey, this is our new product. Is the right product up there? Yes. Okay. I don't care.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of word of mouth of, hey, this is going to be palm now.
I think what they're talking about is the fact that they're saying that they're unlubed from the factory. Because if you remember,
God.
I
remember.
Well, no. So they're saying that that's still an issue, right? These say unlubed from the factory, and
they're coming in lubed.
Quilden is it Quild? Well, I don't know if I said that right, but he's saying that they are filled with lube still, so they're having the same issues that they had with the ones that shipped out last year, where they are lubed. Not only are they lubed, they're probably lubed extremely uneven and very poorly, because that was the entire reason why I got a ultrasonic cleaner was because of Drop Holy Pandas. I bought like 240 of them, and which is funny, I don't have a single board that's just Holy Pandas, actually, but yeah, I had to clean them all up. And so I wonder if there are mixed batches, because Andy J. Kim just says that his came unlubed. I wonder if there are mixed batches. Like, I wonder if there are some that are still lubed and some
They
that
could-
are not.
They might have even sent out the old ones.
Which would be funny if they had them like, if they just like mixed them all together, right? And then they were packing
Which
them
would
up
be
in those
terrible.
little deals. And you got some that were palm and then some that were the old housing, which I think was polycarb, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah. Which, thanks, Drop, because now I have to say, you cannot, Zycos will sound different if you use the new Holy Panda housing.
Yeah.
Because it is not the same. So go for the Yak pandas. That's why the YK came from Zycos. So there's my announcement. I've said it a few times. If you want to make Zycos, the new Holy Pandas, technically, they will still be fine. It will still feel the same. It will sound a little bit different.
It won't
It'll
be
sound
as
a
snappy.
little less thok. It won't be as little like that. Like, it's just going to be a little more muted and muffled. So if you're really wanting to get in on Zycos, go for Yak.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's the big difference between those two housings is that the palm, obviously like a cream, is going to be it'll be a little bit deeper sounding than what you would get out of a actual Holy Panda OG, which is funny. We've had so many iterations. I wonder if we'll see a resurgence of the Holy Panda price debacle as via 2018, where all these old pandas, especially if Yak housings continue to be sold out, I wonder if like certain colorways will be even more expensive.
Yeah, I'm wondering that as well. I'm hoping the red ones stay. I actually, my little box of regrettable purchases, which is all in here, actually has OG Holy Pandas. And I still, every time I type on it, I'm like, not type. Every time I rub my fingers on it, I'm like, these are still kind of better than the old ones.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't know if that's mental. Like I love my Holy Pandas. I use Yak housings. I was never the biggest fan of the drop ones because of all the lube issues. I wound up turning my old ones into Zycos.
Yep. Absolutely.
But yeah, and like I said, with the lube thing, with drop, it's just remember, like, kind of buy with caution from drop. Not saying don't buy from drop, but understand that, like, when you're buying from Dixie, when you're buying from Novel Keys, when you're buying from TKC, when you're buying from Canon Keys, these are like community members that started their own shop. Not Drop did not have really, they didn't really care about key drop. Osiris and I used to buy magic cards off Drop, off of Mass Drop.
Yeah.
It's like Mass Drop used to be a very different company than it is now, and they just focused on their money makers. So when it comes to communication, just, it's one of those. That's why a lot of people will dissect everything in the drop page and talk about it, right? That's why it's always talked about, because you kind of have to do your own research on drop.
Yeah, well, because it's like Kona, right? Like, there are people that work there that care about keyboards and are community members, but unlike a Dixie, a Project, or a Canon Keys, those people aren't the ones making the final decision, right? So there's going to be some things that may not be done the same way as if someone who is wholeheartedly invested in the community would do, which is why, like, a lot of times you don't see a bunch of like free promotion for sets or what's coming out. Like, it's just, here it is. Like, did anyone know that GMK Laser was going to run this month? Maybe a couple. Like, it's a big company. Also, they own Geek Hack and don't use Geek Hack for their thing. What?
I remember that was a week. So yeah, but other than that, I mean, kind of back to the original point. Yes, did Nathan kind of set the tone, even though the tone was already kind of set? Like, before, just taking you back, for those who have been in the hobby only since like 2019, in 2018, there really wasn't like a single figure, right? you got your news from Top Clack, and you watched Anthony 001 and a couple of, and Top Clack and a couple other people billboards. And there wasn't this like huge iconic what he says goes, right? There wasn't this, if Top Clock said, I don't really like this, it wasn't going to see a much of a difference. And that's just because the community wasn't that big. Now the community is huge, and we have this one person that can, say creams are the best for gaming, and then creams are impossible to get. He can do whatever he wants, right? And a lot of people are going to follow. A lot of people are going to. A lot of the things that he says are true, right? 205 grade 0 is very good for stabs because it's tried and true. But that shouldn't mean that you can't branch out. And I know Teja would say this as well, is explore. The reason 205 grade 0 is the way it is because someone branched away from what they were using and tried it.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's one of those things, figure out what works for you, try all the different things you can, play with it. I know, like, Man of Interest, he does like crazy combinations when he lube switches. Like, he'll do a different lube for the bottom housing, for the stem, for the spring, for the top housing. Like, he'll go all different lubes, trying to get a certain feel. And as you get further into the community, as long as you can play with those different things, you can figure out what you like. Maybe you like using a mixture of like PTFE powder and a Krytox blend. It's one of those things that it gets you to stretch your Krytox a little bit longer, and you're using something that's like super plentiful, which in that situation, it's like, cool, if you like it more, then why not? So
I'm just saying that if Huey's listening, he should do all of his streams in a lab coat and just really lean into the like mad Keeb scientist thing.
Dude, I miss the Mad Keebs thing. That was one of his coolest little
Mad Keebs and just mad scientist thing. Just do these crazy things, because if you don't try, if someone doesn't try, then go for it. Like I think there's room for that, right? Like I think that there's room for all this exploration and these exploratory streams of just going, hey, I've got 20 switches in front of me. I'm going to lube them 20 different ways, and I'm going to lube, 4 more of like the basic like Holy Panda 3203, Holy Panda 3204. Now I'm going to try Holy Pandas in 15 different lubes and different lube combinations and tell you my thoughts. And I think that is something that could be very useful, because like I remember Jinly Bean brought up the idea of making a switch tester that had each row was the same switch with the same spring with different lubes.
Yeah.
And so one row would be 205 grade 0, one row would be 3204, one row would be 3203, and a bunch of different switches so that people could go in and go, oh, that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually interested, what with everything that's changed as far as the availability, and things look to be going in different ways. And I'm sure the lube market will change significantly over the next couple months. What do you want to see happen with the availability and like the sale of lube for?
I just want it to be as available as possible. I would love if I would love like for someone like Dixie or TKC or one of the and honestly, like TKC spitting out fire, right? They're doing really good jobs with the Infinity stuff. Novel keys, they're just busy. But
Yeah.
like, and they had lube, and I know that he's trying to get that back on track. It would be nice to just have access to it, right? Because so many people, the first thing you do, we've talked about all the time, is go and once you lube switches, you kind of don't ever want to go back. And that's kind of a true statement. And that's kind of the first, you build boards and then you're like, I'll try this lubing thing. And then you're like, fuck, now I have to go buy a bunch more, but it's hard to find. One Up Keyboards still sells lube. They're just really backed up because they had to be on lockdown for COVID-19, but they were also a very good supplier. It doesn't matter if it's one company or 15 companies selling lube. It would be better to buy from a storefront than having to tell someone new. I'd love to send someone a link to an actual storefront than send someone a link to a Mech Market post of a guy being like, "Hey, I'll take your money."
Yeah. No, and I think that's awesome. I am really excited to get the silk switches in. From what I've seen and what I've heard of people that have had the pre-production or the samples, they've really enjoyed them and they really liked them. Because I think while there is a huge segment of the community that wants to do it themselves and they have their specific way they want to lube, there's also a segment of people that are like, dude, I don't really care as long as it feels good, right?
Yep.
It would be awesome to see that of like the actual factory lubed using community lubes and not just like what happened with the pandas where it's all wonky. But if that starts to happen more and more, it's going to be great because I think it'll make it to where there's going to be less people looking for it. There's going to be people that are okay with just, hey, I'm down for these pre-lube switches. Also, Hugo Keys, thank you for the raid. Appreciate that, my dude. Yeah. How was your stream? But yeah, I think it would be awesome if we could get to the point where it's so much more available to where like novel keys could you could have a little box that you check and it just includes like a couple milliliters of lube along with your switch order. Like that would be awesome.
That'd be sick. Yeah. It'd be difficult to measure out like what's the perfect amount because like take for instance, Quakeums and myself could not lube more differently. So like, how much do you send? Because Quakeums puts about as much as I do on one side of one stem as he does on the entire switch. So it's kind of hard to judge. That's just more of a logistical thing. I would love to see that. I'd love to see just like, hey, try this, right? Try this. It's
just like an ease of use thing. But
and then, you know what? And you kind of bring up a good idea of like a pack, right? Do like 10. Do like 10, put it switch tester, buy a fucking switch tester. Do like a switch tester, a little bit of lube. You know, you can see if you can make like a little tray that's got like 4 different. You just like do a little, and then you send the dry switches out, and then you try a couple different lubes, like a little lube tester. That would be dope. Novel Keys, for listening. You're welcome for the gold idea.
Our son says the only way people in North America have gotten RO59 recently has been via r/Mech Market posts, and Christo 129 is fairly available.
Yep. And 129, I think, is just one of those things that, like we kind of talked about at the beginning of this, people are stuck in their ways, and they're not wanting to branch out and do other things because it's outside of keyboards. Very often in my life, I go, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? That's a very common phrase. And so it's like, well, 205 grade works, 205 grade 0 works, but then you run into the issue of what happens if you run out of 205 grade 0. I'm very low on mine. Like I would have 129 would be a great option because I know a lot of people have done it before. It's just something I haven't.
Yep.
So
yeah, I don't know. I'm always interested to see people playing with new combinations of different lubes, trying to maybe new options, making it more available. But we'll see what happens. Like Blind Assassin said, TKC is doing lube soon, which will be cool. I know some other vendors that I've talked to are looking at doing lube because the community needs it. There needs to be more.
The community needs lube.
Community needs lube. We gotta lube up our creams.
Yeah, gotta get those creams nice and lubey. So what else was on the docket? I want to talk about a cool keyboard.
Okay.
It's a unique one.
Okay.
Have you, Osiris? You're a gamer, as far as I'm concerned. You play games As far as I'm concerned, I played video games with you, and you've gotten a little heated. You've gotten a little heated. Maybe someone's cheating. Maybe you're having an off night, and maybe you need to find the right words to tell someone that you're feeling a little bit heated.
Okay.
But you don't want to desecrate your beautiful keyboard, your beautiful Iron 165, or your beautiful Bauer, or the prettiest of all of them, the Baka 60. You don't want that. You don't want that hate going on that keyboard, right? Well, if I got the keyboard for you, this is not sponsored, by the way. We're not sponsored by this guy at all. I want to bring up, I don't know if I even sent you the link to this, but I'm going to blast it to your Discord now. We put in the title, "Why Does This Exist?" For those of you who don't remember, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago,
I saw this and I thought it was fake.
No, this is real.
I saw a picture for it.
Yeah, no, this is based on that picture.
Oh, okay.
So a few weeks ago, the Wazowski 2319, in an astounding comeback, took the lead of the keyboard of the week by Keebz, Keebz.
There's about to be some cuss words on the screen, people.
Yes. So if you're watching on your TV with your children, we're going to give you about a minute, all right, while I discuss. But yes, if children are in the room, maybe that have just learned how to read, because you're doing such a fantastic job at home learning. But maybe these words you don't need to teach them. But the Wazowski 2319 was a board inspired by the keyboard that is used in Monsters Inc. And so this is a guy that wants to bring boards that really have no place in existence, that need to be existing, into existence for the memes. So I don't know if you have a website pulled up.
Oh, I'm ready to go. I'm ready. I'm waiting for
I want to introduce you, if you've seen it on Reddit, the f.me macro pad, which is arguably one of the funniest fucking things I have seen in a long time. For $100, you don't have to disgrace your GMK gasket mounted goddess of a board. You can quickly tell someone, "Okay, thanks, bye." Because you can, because that's part of it. So this is a complete kit. All right. This kit, it's got a dot. I'll let you go through the specs, because I fucking love this thing. I think this is the ultimate. Why does this exist? Because why not?
Yeah, so it's got a PCB, which also has QMK and VIA support, which is hilarious. USB-C daughter board. It comes with a keycap set and cherry profile PBT die sub with "fuck me, fuck you, and K thanks bye." LEDs of your chosen color, and then an ABS case. This is pretty great.
Also, you can say "fuck bye" if you want.
True. I love the solder mask on the PCB that just says "fuck me."
This board, man.
Oh my god.
This board. So, it's got a max. It's got a MOQ of 250, a max. A maximum order quantity of 420. So good meme. It's for a macro pad. So here's the cool thing, right? So let's look about this logistically. It's got 8 keys? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 1Us, and a couple more space bars. You've got your space bar kits sitting around. Right? They're not doing anything. They're sitting in your plastic bags because you use a normal keyboard like most people. You've got a decent sized macro pad with some cool space bars. You want to just slap that. It's like, oh, play, pause, boom, boom. And then you got some other macro keys. Like, like for streaming, this would be kind of a cool thing. Like, you got 3 big keys you can do fun stuff with. This is a cool macro pad. Shut up and take my money, says Forrest Coquey. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty hilarious. So
Yeah,
I saw that Reddit post a couple days ago. I think it was obviously on RMK, where it was this macro pad that was this size that did say this like exactly.
mhm.
But yeah, this is hilarious. This is awesome, and I love that he's just like, yeah, it's already done. Made it. Buy it. $100.
But
It's actually not a bad deal. It's like everything
right?
you need. $100.
That's like I might get this and replace the bento and put OG Holy Pandas.
Starstone. All these photos are renders. No proto. No buy.
He does have a proto. He does have a proto. I have spoken with him. I have spoken with him offside. I don't have a picture that I can share, but I know that he said he has ordered protos. I am curious to know about the PCB. That's obviously got to work and it's got to be NVIA. But to each their own, right? I think this is one of those. This is one of those boards that no proto, no buy. Absolutely, this might not be for you, right? This might not be this. This is not a for everybody keyboard experience.
This one might be worth the
risk.
Worth the risk. $100. That's not a crazy amount of money, But hey, imagine the resale value.
Pop off, man. So Keep Noob says, I've seen a 3D printed proto he made. So yeah, so it's 3D printed. We'll find out, right? That's the some people will see this as $100 for that. Why the fuck would I waste my money on that? Absolutely. I completely understand. Because this should be the stupidest thing in the world. Because now I have to go explain to someone, not only am I into this hobby about keyboards, that's already hard enough to explain. Now I have to explain to them that I spent $100 on a keyboard that specifically says "fuck you."
Dude, imagine the like gift value, right? Like,
oh yeah, like
this is a great. It's supposed to ship in December. This is a great Secret Santa present for your best friend that you like to fuck around with.
Yeah,
from
the bottom of my heart.
we've got. I need Rick to buy one of these for Moon. I think that would be a great Christmas present for one another. This is pretty funny.
I don't know if there are 2 sets that say fuck. I think it's just the one, probably to lower costs overall. But yeah, I think this is just this is just fun, right? It's fun. It's pretty. I don't see this being a super high risk of it like not being made. If it functions, it's probably not going to feel that great. It doesn't have I don't know if it has a plate. Like this is basically just going to be a plateless. Yeah, this isn't going to be. If it works, that's all that needs to happen, right? A PCB just needs to work. Everything else can be basically garbage as long as it works.
Yeah, I mean the entirety of this is a meme, right? Like it's just how much is a meme worth to you? Is
$100.
Are you okay to meme with for $100? But no, I think that's hilarious. It's already sold 58 of the 250 needed for the MOQ. Yep. So,
and I believe this started 11 hours ago. So it's on track. It's doing all right.
It's pretty good. Go pick yourself up a fuck me full kit, $100. Sure. If you want to embrace the meme that is that board.
Absolutely.
I know I maybe just throw on my camera real quick and just pop it into someone, get real angry.
Boom. Just easy rolls. Anyway, I wish they kept Bay. That would have been nice too. I wish when I spoke with him about this board, the first thing I said is, "Are you going to do?" Because the original picture had the fat ass enter, the old school fat ass enter, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't do that." I was like, "I totally get that."
He should have done. He should have done ISO. Give you a chance to use those ISO keys.
That would have been nice, but I think it would have messed up the top row.
Yeah, true.
So, is this the OG picture? Yeah, this is the Starstone Link, the OG picture. It's got that fat ass enter with a very a 4U space bar. So yeah, there you go, guys, for the OG pick. Thank you, Mr. Starstone. So yeah, that's anyway. I'm glad this exists. This is one of those things. It's like dots was a joke. Redacted was kind of a joke, but kind of not really. Like it was totally planned all along. What's another famous April Fool's keyboard? There was the PCB. I don't know if it ever came to light. Where's the reverse PCB?
Yeah, well, and then Maga. Hamon was, but
Hamon was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I think Hamon was going to happen regardless. But Maga, Make America Great Again, that ended up not happening, but people really wanted it to happen for a while. But
yeah. So, but it's one of those things that it keeps me. These are things that keep me excited about the hobby. Not that I'm bored with the hobby, but it's things like this. I'm like, I'm glad something like this exists. I'm glad that we're not really taking this hobby. We're taking it seriously, but we're having fun with it, right? It's like this is a fun thing to do. I'm sure this pissed some people off. I'm sure people are angry that this exists. Whatever. That's obviously not for you. This is for the people that are like, fuck yeah, that's hilarious. So
yeah, no, I think this is. It's cool to see, like Keep Noob just said, it's cool to see people having fun with it and doing things a little bit differently, because we need to meme a little bit sometimes. People enjoy having fun and getting a nice little laugh, and if you can create that for someone, that's pretty cool.
Yep. So, well, we have got some news. Some discussions that we've been having. So we have some channel updates for y'all. We're mixing it up a little bit. We're stirring the pot. We got two announcements because we have something special we'll announce after this one. So I'll let you start off with the channel changes.
Yeah, so we're gonna change up our schedule. We've for the last almost year
since January.
Yeah. We've been doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night streams, 8 p.m. Central. We're going to be changing that up. We're going to be moving this show, the normal, just Chewy and myself talking about things. We'll be moving from Mondays over to Tuesdays, still at 8 p.m. Central. Wednesdays will still be with a guest, and that will still be happening at 8 p.m. Central. And then we are actually going to be moving builds to Saturday, middle of the day. We want to be able to cater to a little bit of a different audience as far as the that'll bring in maybe some European people as well. Plus, it gives us a little bit more flexibility, especially with school starting for Chewy soon, and then myself going back to work. A lot of times on build streams, sometimes if they went too long, it can be stressful. You're going to bed much later than you wanted to initially. So it gives us a little bit more opportunity to kind of be a little bit more flexible with the timing. We don't necessarily feel like we have to fit it into a smaller window. And then it'll be a nice little Saturday stream.
Yeah. Yeah, a little midday Saturday stream. We've been, wide elephant in the room. Monday's a busy night for keyboard streamers too. Like it's a busy night. And another thing, we would love to be able to watch some people on Mondays. We discussed, this was, a discussion that's been in the back of our minds for a hot minute because The midday streams are a little bit nicer for kind of the everybody, because the issue right now, we started at 8 because we wanted to start at 6 p.m. in PT in Pacific time. Because if you go much earlier, you start running into people that are still working, right? And then the East Coast, you're starting at 9 for them. So by the time 10:30 rolls around, or by the time like 9:30 for us hits, 10:30, people are starting to go to sleep. And we were kind of like, well, we never wanted to touch Wednesdays. That's the one thing that we think that, we'll never really want to change a whole lot. But that Saturday allows us to, like Osiris says, sometimes builds last a long time. Sometimes you get a plate that is just going to push back as much as possible and take you an extra hour. Sometimes you're building in Austin that's going to take, I remember your Austin build was,
it was like 4 hours or something like that.
Yeah. And so that's just one of those things that we can reliably end around 10 o'clock our time on a Monday stream, 10:30 on a Wednesday stream. But the weekends, it's just nice. We get to kind of expand. We want to expand the channel, and we think that this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think it'll be good, because when you're trying to force the stream into like a shorter window, we don't get to answer questions as much. We don't get to be as involved with the chat when we're building, and we want to. So it'll be a lot of fun. Midday streams on Saturdays. We'll start that up in August, which is in a few days.
Yes. So we're not going to have a stream Saturday, but next week we're going to start our new schedule. So we will not have the stream Monday of next week. So whoever wins Keyboard of the Week tonight, you're getting a whole extra day.
Ooh, 8 days instead of 7. Let's go, boys.
8 days. So, and then Osiris will be building something a week from this Saturday. What is the time even? We are still trying to land on it. We're aiming towards like a 2 o'clock. That kind of hits the widest variety. So, but we will keep you updated. But that is what's going to be happening very soon.
Yep.
So,
what's the second one, Chewy?
Next up, we're gonna talk. We're gonna have some talk. All right. So August 12th, which is a Wednesday. It is 2 weeks from this upcoming Wednesday. We are going to be doing kind of helping run. Langlandia is running this Discord meetup, this online virtual meetup. A couple people have done them before. It's going to have this, lots of different people, lots of different streamers are going to be there. We're all going to be chatting about keyboards, just having a good time, right? So in lieu of a interview stream, we'll be doing that. We don't know if we'll be streaming it quite yet, or if we're just going to be on the Discord side of things. We'll keep you updated as the time comes. But it is there's a Discord already, so you'll be able to keep up to date. I know there's some awesome stuff being given away.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. I just put the Discord link in chat. You can join that. That is the Discord for the Talk, which will be used for all of the meetup. So 100% virtual meetup. We know other people have done this, done something similar a couple months ago. We're going to be doing this pretty regularly. I know Lang wants to do them pretty regularly, so it'll be awesome. We are doing a bunch of giveaways with it. Lang has secured an NK65 aluminum, some stuff from TKC, an Archetype artisan cap, a bunch of Smith & Rune apparel. Get yourself some sweatpants, some joggers, and there's a bunch of other stuff.
Did I tell you I bought my joggers?
Oh, you didn't? I didn't know.
I bought some joggers. I'm excited. It's going to take a little bit to get there, but I got some joggers.
Get yourself some joggers. But yeah, a lot of stuff. Join that Discord. I'll put it in chat again. Join it. There will be lots of stuff coming soon over there. Lots of more announcements about giveaways, timings, what's going to happen, how it's all going to work. So stay tuned to that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, we are about to kick off our weekly segment, our keyboard of the week. Some people are already throwing in their submissions now. So if you head over to our Discord, please submit what's on your desk this week or another picture of a keyboard you've taken that you really appreciate, preferably yours. If it's not yours, at least give the person the shout out, right? Please only submit one keyboard. And if at all possible, please put what keyboard it is, because sometimes when you're looking at a rectangle from the top, it is very hard to decipher what keyboard that is. So, guys, yeah, start throwing your pictures in there now on the Discord.
On the Discord, it is. We haven't used this yet, so I'm going to use it now. But you're not going to be able to hear it, Chewy. But
welcome to Keyboard of the Week, brought to you by Mechs on Deck.
Shout outs to Lang for that one. Yeah, so join our Discord. Let's put a picture in the keyboard pictures channel. We're going to go through them all. We're going to take a look at them. We're going to judge them. And we're going to pick our favorites. And then y'all get to decide which one wins. You get the Discord roll.
And then y'all are going to pick Osiris's board because I've yet to win. So, I'm going to throw Osiris a little curveball because I'm literally about to explode. I drank like at least a gallon of water today. So while we get some sponsors getting rolled out up on here, I'm going to go use the restroom.
All right, go pee. Well, cool. I got this. Oh, wait, nope. Let me, then you can see Chewy and Tiny Chewy. All right. What's up, chat? How you doing? Make that go away. All right. Do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. Switchmod.net. You can go to switchmod.net/mechsondeck. Get 4% off of anything that's in stock. Slipline's running soon, I believe, as well as he's got some extras of the key sets he's run, like Metaverse 2, Frostwitch, Alter, all over there. Check them out, pick them up. Dixie Mech, you can head on over to mechsondeck.dixiemech.com. He is running 2 sets this month, GMK Nuclear Data, as well as, I believe I always forget the name, it's GMK Pono. Which is a pretty inexpensive set. They're both $124.99. So check those out. And then, of course, you can go to Project Keyboard, which is mechsondeck.project.link. GMK Sumi just hit over 1,000 base kits, which is pretty crazy. Check that out. It's a nice, deep, deep blue with white and red. Some of the best novelty caps I have seen in a while. So check that on out. And then they are running the Elongate board until the end of the month. So check that out over there. Chewy's back. I'll bring him back. And then last but not least, Canon Keys. You can go to canonkeys.com/mechsondeck. Pick up GMK Bread and SA Mizu. SA Mizu if you're into row 3 uniform profile. Pretty cool. Great price. Check them out. Pick them up. Use those links. It helps us do stuff, go places, get things, keep the stream going. Yeah.
Improves.
How was your
improves? How
was the Banyo trip?
The Banyo was effective and efficient.
It's pretty quick.
I had to. You know what's funny is I even hit my mouth with mouthwash too.
Dude.
Just because I was like, I got a weird taste in my mouth. No, I was also, when I was looking in the mirror using some mouthwash, so I'm wearing my Candy Key shirt. Got to represent, right?
There you go.
And I'm really excited because I'm going to have my Smith & Room pants. I've got my Dixie. Koozie. I need to get myself a like a Zap Cables hat or like a Tight Beast hat. So Starstone, if I can get a hat with like a TB on it, that would be like perfect. Get myself like a giant actually give me a medallion. I'll buy a medallion from you with this logo.
Dude, put it on a chain. Dude,
Put it on a
bling down
chain.
with the Type Beast logo. That'd be sick.
And get like a hat that's like Supreme hat, and then I will take that picture of me just with this jug just being the most shill individual possible. Man, we got some bangers right now that are being posted. Like I'm excited about there's some hard decisions to make on these.
There is. Where are we starting? Are we including the ones
We're
from earlier today?
We're gonna start with test subject.
Okay.
Because I do really like that one, and I think that we haven't really seen this board
In a while.
in a long time. Definitely not on Keyboard of the Week.
I mean, you used to have one.
I did. It's what made me stop liking 65% altogether.
Very true. Very true. I'm getting these open here.
Yep. So guys, if you don't know, if you've not heard, a quick announcement. Tomorrow I will be doing a build stream alongside Mr. Langlandia. We will be giving away GMK Peaches and Cream. It is in a sealed box. Sealed case. The box had to be opened to make sure that Peaches and Cream was in there. But nonetheless, it is the old school tray too. So GMK Peaches and Cream will be up for grabs tomorrow. I know Langlandia has got some other stuff that he is giving away. One of them being an art key, I believe. So some really good artisans on that side. We'll be building. Both of us are building a crown TKL designed by Blind Assassin. So definitely check that out tomorrow if you want to win some cool free stuff.
Absolutely. So we got a lot of stuff, a lot of pictures to kind of go through here. Although one that I'm like, it's real, but let's go ahead and get into it. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'm not going to use my stream deck because it'll break the stream. First up, this is like the Zeal Love board. All of this is Zeal Love. This is by Test Subject 001. This is a Zephyr from Zeal with Xylence from Zeal. Got Yellow Springs Lube with 205 Grade 2 and 105 Mix with GMK Tokyo Nights. And a limited edition Zeal holographic Zeal sticker of his face.
This is I love the sticker. 2, I think this set is super underrated. And I'm not saying that as someone who owns it. My wife owns it, but I think this set looks so clean because it has that pop of purple. It has that little pop of color, but for the most part is pretty tame. This is a fire combination.
It is.
I think this is solid looking. And then I love the picture with the Zeal stickers.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. The Zephyr is an interesting board. It's got a really, really thick plate, which is like so that time in keyboards. Yep. Like it was all about just stiffness, and now everyone's all about the flex. Yep. So this is such a different time in keyboards, but this was still very high end. I remember seeing videos from a like tech showcase where they actually had Zephyrs with different switches in them. So this was like widely regarded as a very high end board at the time. So yeah,
I had to wake up at midnight and like fast. I had one, wound up selling it because I found out I just did not like 65% boards, and I was like, I would rather get my money back, buy something different. And I wound up like offing like over half my collection in like a 1 month period. But I enjoyed it. The build was very strange because when you're building with a plate that's like 5 pounds, it was intense. It looked very clean. I will say that it was a fun build once I got like some anchor switches in, but it is a little jarring building on the Zephyr.
Absolutely. And then next up, This was posted earlier today. This is Sniper Bob's KBD 67 Mark II with OSA sleeves, some Tangies, lubed with 205 grade 0. This looks great. Also, it's sitting in a chair, and I just realized that right now.
Yep.
It
I had to look at this the third time I looked at this picture. I was like, oh, that's a fucking chair. That's not like a table. No, I think OSA sleeves came out really well. I think the pink complements the kind of aquamarine teal 65%. I bet it sounds really solid because I know those caps have kind of a cat SA sound to them, a little bit more like hollowy and thockier. So I'm sure this is a board that just sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, this looks great. I still need to get a set of these caps just because I want to try this profile. I want to try out those, and I mean, it looks pretty. It's simple. It looks like it'll fit with a lot of different stuff.
Yep.
Love to try it out. And apparently, this is a rocking chair. This is a fancy looking rocking chair.
It's a nice ass fucking rocking chair. So next up from Streaking Bison, a man after my own heart, the SM Keyboards 60 with a copper plate with creams, 205 grade 0. This is extremely similar to my build. The board that's literally right there. I don't know what switches or what springs you have in there, Mr. Streaking Bison, but if you have 89 gram springs, we have basically the same board. 8008 to complement. I like the pink with the kind of white. These are colors that just kind of play off each other. They're not supposed to be, they don't look like they're really supposed to be perfect, but they play off of each other really well.
Yeah. It looks great. It's
and the double X approval.
double X, dude. It's just like in 2007 when everyone would put X's on either side of their names on MySpace.
Magic Gnome.
This is the same thing. You're just putting X's on either side of your numero.
Absolutely.
But no, this looks great. I imagine that this feels awesome and sounds really cool. I know Chewy's SM keyboard sounds great, so I can't imagine this being any different.
Yeah, I am 100% certain you are satisfied with the sound of that board. Next up, we have a rectangle. So by Japature, this is a TGR Singa Unicorn. It looks to be in gray with holy pandas. I'm sure that sounds fantastic with white on black with pretty and pink accent kits. That I do believe that accent kit works best with white on black.
Looks great. Super clean. Like, just looks great. Super clean. Unicorn is a cool board. I've messed around with a couple of them. I don't have one. I know. Does Rick still have his? I know he had one for a while.
He had one, but then he wound up getting rid of it, I believe.
It's an interesting way that they do the gasket. It's literally just like a giant rubber band around the around the board. But no, it's a cool board. This looks great though. Super clean.
Yeah.
Also,
what do we got next?
Photos are insane.
Yes.
Next up, we have, this is a number 160 with a polycarb half plate, H1s, lubed with 205 grade 0 plus GPL 105 on the springs, and filmed, which you should do if you get H1s, with GMK Sandstorm with the Key Colt Rama cap. This is hot. I'm assuming that Stash just got this in.
Yeah.
This is from the most recent one.
I believe he built it. Some Stash, if you're in chat, you can link that VOD because I did check out the VOD. It sounds really good. So I mean, I highly recommend watching the VOD. If not for anything, well, one, watch it because Stash is a cool guy, but also watch. Key Colts are just uniquely put together.
Yeah.
And watching a Key Colt build is just something different. It's something special. It's not your tofu. It's not your top plate. It's a unique experience. So I would go check that out if you are interested. Because August 4th, you can go try and get yourself a Key Colt 160 or 165.
Your stream crashed during the. Oh, your stream crashed during the stream. Oh, that sucks.
Oh, his
Unfortunate.
stream crashed. Yeah, that's right. You can try and watch the that's right. But if you go to his post a link to your Instagram, I know you posted a typing sounds video of it. I thought you said our stream crashed. I was like, shit.
Dude, Sandstorm is kind of hot, dude. It
Right?
looks pretty decent.
On a blackboard, like, not bad. Not bad.
You know what's funny is when I did the Saturn OG, we are doing the Keeb of the Week. When I first looked at it from afar, I was like, that looks like the Linus board caps.
Oh, the
like
Bauer
the picture. Yeah, the Bauer, where it was the all brass caps. But then obviously when I opened it up, I saw, oh, it's actually Sandstorm. So
it matches that brass aesthetic, though.
It does
pretty well.
But
so well done. I was just gonna say, next up, we got a pair of Tofus. We got what looks to be MT3 Serica and the ever so seldomly used arrowed key 60%. always interesting to see that. I believe that's the hot swap PCB. And then looks to be probably that looks like the I know it's not minimal.
that's the novel keys.
Novel keys. Okay, yeah. So
black on white.
So solid, yeah, because so solid looking boards. I love the theme. Clearly, you have a color preference with the white, black, and yellow aesthetics. I also enjoy the picture. I'm gonna let this one slide on the two keybs in one picture.
Yeah,
it's a tag team.
I mean, there's a couple sets that I gotta know if you got in on. Did you get in on GMK Honey? Did you get in on Infinity Hive? I think is what the name was.
PBT Hive or whatever.
PBT Hive. Yeah. I think those sets would look great to add to this. No, I think this is cool. I like the skin you've got on your phone, GMK Lux. Okay, I like.
There you go.
This is cool. It's all together. Yeah, the arrows. That's the like unified. Like everyone in China apparently uses the 60% with the arrows like that with all the one use, which is interesting. I remember there was a board that ran on Z Frontier that was great. The COD 67.
Yeah.
People loved that board, but then they hated the fact that it was like fixed layout with the arrows like this.
Well, that and you have to have the 2U left shift to get that to work 100%.
Yep.
So, hey guys, new to the hobby, what should I be reading and watching to be able to build the Squid 60? Exclamation point YouTube. And honestly, just scroll through our weekly episodes. We do have builds. We do have, buying. We do have what you need to buy. Some of them might need to be updated. I would also join our Discord as well. There'll be plenty of people. And if specifically you got in on the Squid 60, feel free to PM me. I will happily assist you in any way that I can. So welcome to the hobby.
Yeah, and if you want to see what the build's going to be like, it's going to be extremely similar to the mini Baka 60 builds we have over on the YouTube channel. So you can check those out. They're all about 2 hours. You can scrub through it. You good little watch. Yeah. There's like 5 of them.
Yeah. I think I built 4 once. Yeah, I built 4 on stream and then you built yours. So
yeah.
And we're gonna have a few more.
I'm sure we will.
So next up we have got the seldomly seen Soul 2, the RGB KB Soul 2. This is a split ortholinear keyboard with that looks like Metropolis.
Either that or it's Pulse. I think that's definitely Pulse.
Pulse, okay.
Because it's got the Meetup con.
That's right. This is dope.
Yeah, this is cool.
This definitely looks like a starship.
You know, it's funny because this almost looks like it's not like a custom board. Like this looks almost like it's like produced,
It looks like a mass
manufacturer.
Yeah.
Super clean.
I know our good buddy Grindbox has a Soul 2 or had a Soul 2, and the RGBs on there, just pictures of it hurt my eyes.
Does look very bright. This is definitely for the RGB fans out there, but it's pretty cool. This would be interesting. I'm always interested in trying new things. I would be interested to see how frustrating it would be to use this board for the first like 2 hours. So, but
so what do we got up next?
Up next, this is a cool little picture that Mr. MK Rank himself did. Wrecked 1800 with cat milkshake, alpacas with Desky films, slow 72 gram springs from Sprit. He's even got the Rama cap. He's got the milkshake to go with it. Man, this is like a whole thing. He's got the cherries to pair. He's even got the little like tester thingy in the background that is also like the milkshake style colors.
Yeah, I have one of those at work with some box navies. The kids enjoy how clicky it is, but no, this is a very, very cool board. I think this is, every time I see a board like this that's the 1800 layout, I know most people that get 1800 layouts are like, this is my board. This is the board that I'm going to be using either for work or whatever, because I need the number row. Like I have to have this. And so I know that this board is getting used and typed on, and that's what we like to see.
Yeah. Plus it looks great.
So
I like the colors of cat milkshake. Looks good.
Next up, we've got another SM Keyboards entry, the Alice. This is from Brez 1623, one of our mods. Filmed Lilacs Lube with 3203, Springs Lube with 105, Camping Round 2. This is hot.
I think I know what you're going to be picking, just for the sheer fact that this is an SM Keyboards board with camping on it.
And respect that he used the Alpha Legends too for.
This looks great. I mean, it looks good. It's super clean. I like that this is the like opaque acrylic. I think it looks good. Yeah, I mean, it's clean, it's simple, it's nice. I want to know how this sounds. It looks like he's got the copper plate going as well, which is awesome. Yeah. Looks great.
Yeah, absolutely. What do we got up next?
Next up, we have, this is the Q Frenzy, I think is how you would pronounce that. Q Frenzy V2 with creams, stem stop swapped with Inver B1, V1 B3 stems, 60 gram gold Duroc springs with the Duroc stabs, XDA keycaps, and he's got the cadet mat. This is pretty sweet.
I like this. This reminds me of like, sketch table. Like work is getting done in this picture. I enjoy it. I've been wanting to try the kind of the split keyboard where it's literally just looks like someone broke a keyboard, not the kind of Alice layout, but something like this where you can kind of clamp it shut or open it up. I know you've talked about wanting to try one of these for a long time, because then when you're gaming, you can just unplug the right side.
Yeah, you can just use one. I think, yeah, I mean, there's obviously these, you can actually pick these up for not crazy amount of money whenever they're doing runs of them. But boards like the Kendo should be coming out soon. That's on the horizon from Project Keyboard, which is the same style of split. Yeah, I like the style of this, and I'm excited to see people do more of these soon. Also, I just like the way that this looks. XDA is not for me though. XDA is definitely not for me.
That is flat. That
Very
is flat. So next up, we have a G6 V2. Gotta rep the Bay.
Trey Pop, you best be memeing, my dude.
I mean,
this board is all kinds of dirty. Does look like it's got some MX blacks in it, which is definitely cool.
Hey, got to give props. This is the legit, of course. Also, you're missing a couple keys, so I'm gonna have to take some points off for missing 3 separate keycaps. But I do appreciate the big boy enter.
The big boy enter. Also, you need to clean it up, my dude. Get yourself some, Lysol wipes. Just wipe it down. Take the keycaps off. Get some compressed air. Clean her up a little bit. But you do got the BAE.
Yep. Hey. Respect. So following that, the business, the Orion V3 with 8008. Love the theme. Appreciate the fact that this board, I'm pretty sure this picture was taken tonight.
I definitely was. I mean, you can literally see us in the background. So yeah, this looks great. Yeah, points for that. I like the boards I've seen. There's been a couple boards that have had this, but it hasn't been as popular recently. The cutout for the underglow on the sides, I like it. I like it. Also, Frisco mount, I agree. Using Twitch light mode, come on, man. Come on. But no, great board, 8008 Holy Pandas. This thing probably sounds like a monster.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. So.
Next up. Yeah, right? Right? I think
this is pretty hot.
This is dope. So we got Satisfaction 75 keyboard of the year for 2019, sporting what is on Osiris's desk, GMK Waves, with a very awesome, I'm going to assume, custom hand painted wrist rest to go along.
Yeah, that's like the I can't remember. It's like wood burning, but it's like a special way where they're like electrically charged. You put them on either end, and then
and you zap it.
You zap it, and then you fill it with resin, so it looks like lightning. It's pretty cool. That's pretty sweet. He's even got the ramen knob, which looks great. Super dangerous if done wrong. True. Waves looks good. I think people kind of. I don't see Waves get posted very much. It's been a little over a year, I think. Well, it's coming up on a year of delivery, but it's been a year since it ran. Waves looks great.
Yeah,
it looks good.
Yeah, Waves, solid board or solid keycap set. Looks really good on dark boards.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
So next up, we got the Cooler Master Nova Touch or CM Nova Touch OSA sleeves on it.
It is Cooler Master.
Cooler Master. So I like that you've taken some with the old, some with the new, right? You've taken something that you're used to. You've got the Cooler Master board. Cooler Master boards are great. I had one before I got into customs. It's definitely a solid. You're not typing on a membrane, right?
Well, this is a Topra board.
Oh, Topra? Okay, that's right.
Yeah. This is what you make the Norba Touch out of.
Yeah, but the OSA on there looks fantastic. I think this is a very clean looking board.
Yeah, I mean those boards are actually like a good one is actually super sought after. So yeah, looks cool. I mean, I always wonder how many people are buying GMK sets, other sets from these group buys and are just throwing them on like a Ducky or like a Corsair board.
Yeah. I'm sure there's definitely a handful because I know there are a lot of people like Random Frank P has grown his audience and Brandon Taylor has grown his audience when it comes to keyboards and exposing his audience to a broader horizon of people who are like, well, I like my board, but I wouldn't mind throwing some cool caps on top of it, right? I think that'd be a nice way of handling that.
Yeah, for sure.
So next up, got a Tofu 60 acrylic with I cannot remember the set this is.
It's the EPBT. It's one of the EPBT sets where you can get it. You can get this in like the pink and blue colorway. They have this one, bunch of different colors. This looks clean.
Very clean.
Looks
very clean. I'm going to assume you probably didn't get a mod colored pipe key because I know some of these sets did not have mod colored pipe keys. So I'm going to hold off on taking any points off. But I love that you did this with the artisans. I think it has this very rounded feel to it. So very solid looking board.
Yeah, solid. I imagine. I wonder, Foo Burger, do you use this with the RGBs, or you just let it be? Because these acrylic tofus, they light the fuck up when you have it on.
They are. The frosted acrylic does such a good job. It does a fantastic job. I have it off most of the time. Yeah, that's probably the right move, especially with that color combination. It just looks very clean. Next up, I'll let you take this one because I know you want one of these.
Yeah, I like these boards. This is a Romeo with a P3D case. So he's got an aftermarket case on it. Which is a 3D printed case, I imagine is what. MT3 Serica H1 switches with the Durock stabs. This looks clean. I love the boards I love these boards where you can see the components up at the top. It just looks so clean, so unique. You know, most of the time those are hidden on your boards. It's a cool way to add a new aesthetic to the board.
Yeah. It's very bubbly.
Yeah.
It's very, I love this case, the keycaps along with it. It's a very bubbly appearance. I love it.
Yeah. And like Genly Bean said, it's so cute. And it's just so cute.
Next up, this is a board that I was actually very close to getting in on the group buy. This ran in 2018. The Reborn 60 has a very cool weight to it. So 60% wind keyless board. It's got GMK minimal with creams, gat yellow springs on a brass plate. I bet this board sounds amazing.
Yeah, I mean this is like this is insanely clean. Like this is like surgically clean of a look.
Yeah, this is because that's kind of that dark gray that almost looks black since you put it against the white keycaps. Like it almost looks black. It just that's gonna be tough to not choose. So we got two more left. Technically three. Well, I guess two. I'm reading. Okay, that's gonna be that bottom one. So, but very well done, Stevie Cuz. Looks like a print of a keyboard. I agree. Next up, Mr. Hype Beast himself, Starstone, with this is a unicorn with a GMK Eclipse, which really was a slept on set. I know our good buddy Magic Gnome really enjoys Eclipse. And then the Omega 60, which not a whole lot of people is not a very wildly accessible board with creams on it, with EPBT extended for that Mac.
Yeah, I like the way that the 2048 set looks. It's just so cool. Like the font's just so nice. Such a throwback. Super, super clean. Both these boards, nice blue color, but slightly different. I'm more excited about the Omega because you don't see that board very often.
Yeah.
So
And
super clean.
Starstone, if you're in chat, did they ever figure out what he was going to do with the space bar? Because I know that's what was holding him up for a hot minute, was trying to decide how he was going to make the space bar work with the plate.
But yeah, super clean, looks great. And then last up, we have the AE Boards EXT65 from I1A with DSA Magic Girl, with the Magic Girl mat. This thing's, you want to talk about cute. This looks cute.
Yeah, this is colorful. Check. Cute. Check. Unique. Double check. I mean, this is everything. This is very bright. Yep. Just well done overall. Like, I think it's great.
Yeah, I know that this is it. Well, I don't know, but correct me if I'm wrong. This is supposed to be, what is this? What is the Magic Girl based off of? Is it Sailor Moon?
I believe so.
But a board like this looks like this is what like Disney employees should use. Like this should be a standard set for them to have, just because of how cutesy it is.
Yeah.
No, this looks great.
Yeah, I'm not a big DSA fan, but I do love the colors. The pastel's great. So that's it. Who's choosing first this week?
You can choose first.
All right,
you've lost every single one of them.
Exactly. That's fair. See, I want to choose one, but I want to choose the other. So I'm going to choose the Satisfaction 75 with GMK Waves.
Okay. Find it. All right, cool. Okay. I'm going to choose the Romeo.
Ooh.
Hitting you with a curveball.
There it is.
All right. So, chat. Chewy's making the polls. These are your two options. We have a Satisfaction 75 with GMK Waves and this electrocuted wrist rest. And then the Romeo with MT3 Serica and a custom 3D printed case. Both of these.
And the poll?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying the poll is live. It is at the top of chat. Should work on mobile. If you're on full screen mode, you will have to take yourself off of full screen. Is Eric trying to throw this one? I don't think so. Because I mean the Wazowski 2319 one. So it's like nothing at this point. It could be anything. It could be freaking anything.
You know, I am not throwing for content. I probably would have selected the Satisfaction 75, but I like this. I like this 3D printed case too. It reminds me of vanilla bean ice cream with the little specks in it. Plus, I just think this looks cool. Like this is one of the first times where I've seen MT3 look amazing.
Yeah, I think that's a set that I feel like kind of didn't really live up to GMK. I think that it was just the colors were a little off. I thought the cream, like they made the kind of creaminess too much, but it does a fantastic job here. So
the P3D store cases are legit. I have a couple and they feel so good and look so good. I'll have to check them out because I do want to get a Romeo. Actually, I kind of want a Mysterium TKL, but the Romeo is just so cute.
So
it does look creamy, delicious. You're so right. It looks kind of like, I like marble stuff. Like I've got a marble desk. I've got a marble skin on my MacBook. I used to have a marble skin for my phone. Like, and this is kind of on that same vibes. So I like the case.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What are we? It's close.
It's pretty close.
It's close. Satisfaction 75 round 2 confirmed. It is confirmed. We don't have a confirmed date, but it is confirmed that he is going to run it up.
Yeah. For sure. Again, these are your two options. You got the Romeo with MT3 Serica and Satisfaction 75 with GMK Waves. With the
Absolutely.
Novelties kit.
Now, which I'm curious to know if he got all of his keys, because I know that the Novelties kit was missing a key, and I was actually curious to know if you were missing a key to begin with, and if you did, how quickly did you get it? So, by the end of the year for round 2, yeah, and by the end of the year, round 2 is when it's going to be ordering. So expect them to ship. But finally,
No
So-
love for the Romeo. Not enough. I need 2 more.
hey, the Romeo pulled its weight. The Romeo pulled its weight against the keyboard of the year winner.
It did. It did.
It took Mike Tyson to 8 rounds. All right,
I'm losing my sales skills after not working for so long.
but Fazza, congratulations! You are the keyboard of the week winner. Your keyboard will be on the banner. You also get to be the keyboard of the week plus a day.
Ooh, you get 8 days. Ooh. No, this looks great. I mean, it's like very uniform with the wrist rest and everything. Obviously, Satisfaction 75 is like ultra crazy hype board. It still is, which it's fantastic board. So I wish I could hear the way that this thing sounds, because I think it had Holy Pandas, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
No, inks on a carbon fiber plate. That's another thing that's interesting. It's a carbon fiber plate. But huzzah, congratulations.
Deep.
Keyboard of the week for 8 days.
Oh yeah, man. So, like I said, guys, tomorrow I will be building a crown alongside Langlandia. We'll be giving away GMK Peaches and Cream. So if you want to win a free GMK keycap set, please hop in and enjoy a fun discussion about a crown TKL, as well as some other artisans that Langlandia is giving away. And you can kind of, if you can live that dual monitor life, or at least have the windows where you can drag them to both sides, you can watch both streams at the same time. So be sure to check that out, as well as Wednesday, we'll be having Mr. Alex Odos on. We're going to talk about some keycap design. We're going to talk about some streaming, and just have a good time, because we haven't had him on a Wednesday night show in a hot minute.
Nice. Yeah, he's a cool dude. I'm excited to talk to him. But yeah, I think is it my turn to figure out who to raid? Okay, cool. Because I already got someone in mind. It's someone that I've wanted to raid for a while, because he is a caster / host for esports events. If you're not familiar with Mr. Golden Boy, he is actually a global emote on Twitch. As well, which I can't remember the name of it, so I'm trying to look it up real quick. He's streaming Valorant right now, so he's a pretty cool dude, and I know he's interested in getting into some keyboards.
Hell yeah. So we're going to spam that show as your keyboard. We're going to go have a little chit chat with him, see if we can get him to join us on the dark side of keyboards and build a custom. So, guys, thank you very, very much. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Be sure to check them out. And as again, buy a Switch test.
Bye now.